Hi, welcome back. This is week 23. So previously we did idea pitch for 2 weeks. You can check out those videos up here. But today we're going to talk about how to validate your business idea. So let's go on with the video. Hi, I'm Hiroki Kudo. I'm a serial entrepreneur and I'm working on my third startup. Today's September 2nd. We are in week 23. It's 163 days since we started this project. If you're new, this channel is to document our startup, to show you what the day of the life of a startup founder is. Also, we have an ambitious goal to prove that startup unicorns are reproducible. I've talked more about that in the first episode. So if you're interested in what our startup does, please subscribe to the channel so you'll be notified of our progress. Please give a like, please, and share this video so we can spread our knowledge and experience to startup founders and people who are interested in startups. In today's video, I'll talk about 3 things. 1, our progress for this week. 2, our confidence level. And 3rd, how to validate your startup idea. So last week and the week before, we discussed about business ideas, and we ended up with 3 ideas: Escrow, software for construction industry, and thirdly, item exchange to replace Craigslist. There's not much progress on the item exchange Craigslist idea, so I'll update you on the progress of Escrow and construction software. For Escrow, I talked to a person who understands the car dealership and selling industry. Through the conversation, I noticed that to have an escrow service, to have a good escrow service, I think we need 3 conditions. 1 is high volume, about like dollar marks in the transaction. So if we're just talking about items like $100, $200, it's not even worth having escrow service because it doesn't matter. But it comes to $100,000 to $1,000, $1 million, then that amount of money makes sense to have somebody making sure that money exists and that it's properly transferred to the person who delivered the service, delivered the product. So high amount of dollars for the transaction. The second point is the frequency of the transaction. Let's say it's a one-of-a-lifetime exchange. When you are going to use an escrow service, you need to trust that service to begin with. You won't just blindly use a service. So for that reason, it'll be more easy to deal with people who have transactions frequently. For example, for that purpose, it'll make more sense to target not regular people who would buy homes and buy cars, because you don't buy cars like every day. I would probably focus more on car dealerships and real estate agents. And lastly, number 3, which I think was really important, is the time that is needed to do inspections. For old cars, if the old car is 1, 2, or 3 years old, usually inspection seems to take only an hour or so. So the time when you're uncomfortable is relatively very short. Whereas let's say we're talking about a classic car, it might take about a week for the inspection to be done. So you've handed over the money, you're waiting for a whole week whether your car is in the condition that the buyer is expecting it to be. So this time frame is longer and you're worried about your money. Is it probably handled it? Has the car not been taken away and you'll never see it back? So there's this unsecurity time frame that's longer. So the higher the amount, the more the transaction, and the longer the inspection time. For those business transactions, it makes sense to have an escrow. So what kind of item, what kind of transaction in this world exists? I'm going to talk to a friend who works in an auction house. She's the manager of an auction house. So I want to see what their daily pains are related to these business transactions. I'm also going to talk to businesses to see if they've had any experience that they were worried or actually they got in trouble paying but they didn't get the product or the service they wanted. Has that ever happened before, and what kind of situation was that? For the construction software idea, we did some research and we found out that there's so many softwares out there. There are BIM software, there are 3D CAD softwares, there are also project management software, there are softwares that communicate to collaborate with all the people involved in the project, etc. So I think we need to map out like what kind of software exists, and if there's any niche between these softwares that those softwares either don't cover or do a poor job in covering it. Also, in constructions, there's so many players involved. There's a general contractor, there's construction companies, and there's like freelance plumbers, carpenters, all those people, and also architects, all those people involved in projects. So depending on who we focus on, the pain point will be different. So we want to figure out who we're going to serve as our customer. So that's our progress since our idea pitch. Confidence level. I think we're onto something, especially on the construction side. So we want to dig deeper. Confidence level-wise, out of 100, I think we're in 30-40% confidence level. So we need to just go on forward, digging in and revealing more of the understanding, the insight of each industry. Lastly, I want to talk about validating your idea. So I'm sure you've come up with an idea, like you're excited about that, but when you start talking to your friends, they say, nah, that's not that exciting. They're not really interested in that. Does that mean that your idea is bad? Maybe not. So I'll talk about how we evaluate our ideas. So if you have a business idea, we check with 4 points. 1, is there a need? 2, are there any competitors? 3, is the market big enough? And 4, why now? The first thing we do, and this is really important because this mistake kills a lot of startups, is whether there's actually a need or not. For ourselves, we talked about helping nurses get better paid, trying to help entry-level workers getting jobs, etc. When we thought about that, we were really excited. We thought, okay, this is going to be great. We're going to make a big business out of this. But once we start talking to the actual customers, let's say fast food chain restaurants, supermarkets, are they having problems hiring these entry-level workers? The answer was not that much. They already had their way of going about that. There's not that much pain. So when you come up with an idea, you want to do some interviews with the potential customers to see if they agree that they are in the pain, to see if they agree with you that there's enough pain that will actually pay for your service that you're about to build. So don't keep it in your head, go out there, talk to people, and talk to the people who are actually going to be your customer. Probably that's not going to be your friend. You have to talk to the people, and especially if you're not involved in the industry. So we don't know. I'm not a nurse, so I don't know the healthcare industry. So if you're in that situation, you need to talk to those people who are in the industry and provide more insight of how the industry works and how big of a pain that you're trying to address is. Second point is mapping out the competitors. Usually, there are competitors or alternative ways to go around your problem. You want to map out, for example, construction software. What kind of construction software does the industry already have? Is there a competitor that is doing exactly the same thing that you are doing? And if so, what is your advantage? Is it big enough for people to switch to your software or your solution? If not, maybe you need to work further on your idea to find your advantage before you plunge in. So you don't have to find all the competitors, but you have to understand the major players and how advanced their solutions are. The third point, too small market. We might have a personal problem. That's good, and you want to solve that. But for that, there might be just a handful of people having the same problem. If that is true, the market is too small. That doesn't mean that it's a bad idea. You might be happy solving your own problem and a few people's problem, and you make some money out of that. You could be happy about it. But if you're ambitious and you're looking to become a unicorn startup or creating millions and millions of dollars of revenue, then that might not be the exact way to go forward. So assess the market. How many people or how many companies have this same pain? And figure out how much revenue you can generate from that. If it's too small, it might not be worth the effort. And lastly, number 4, why now? Related back to we don't have any competitors. There's a reason why there's no software in this area. Maybe there are people who have tried it out but have failed. There's a reason why they failed. Maybe the technology was not there. Maybe the market was not big enough. Maybe the pain was not severe enough. Either way, you want to check if that has changed. If it's the same situation, the likelihood of you failing in the same way is high. So you have to ask the why now. And if you can answer it by because we have this new technology or because we have this new customer behavior. If you have an answer to that has changed recently before all these people have tried it and have failed, then you might be in a situation that it might work. So if you have this business idea, check these 4 points before you plunge in. Okay, so thank you for watching this video to the very end. Really excited going forward with this project. If you are too, please subscribe. Please give a like. Posting another video of our progress next week and see how we've been doing. If you have any comments, any suggestions, anything, any useful information, please write it down in the comment section below. We read these and we appreciate feedback. So thank you again and see you next week. Bye.